We here at the Hazmat Guys always strive to bring you the best that we can. And today we bring you the people from FLIR. We are going to get into the nitty-gritty about some of the new emerging technology that is coming out, as well as some of the company's philosophy. So take a look at some of the products to help support the shows. And now to the show. Hey everybody, I'm back with Mike.
Hello.
We are coming live from Baltimore City, Maryland. We are at the IAFC, right? Which is the
International, what is that?
Association of Fire Chiefs.
Fire Chiefs. All these initials, I just can't keep anything together.
But we are happy to sit down with FLIR, two of the guys, right?
And who are the guys?
Who are these guys?
We're the Hazmat Guys. What guys are you?
So I am their PRIMED program, their new PRIMED program spokesperson. I do their teaching online, and they came to me and wanted to do something that was a bit novel and progressive, and so we developed an acronym called PRIMED, and it's a video series, and we pick topics that are of interest to the people in the ground, street truth, if you will. And we try to do very hard-hitting short videos. And they're a little bit with a difference. They're 2 to 3 minute videos on topical subjects that a lot of them are sent in by the readers. And then we end up with downloads. We want to give them something they can use, whether it's a white paper, a little research, maybe a quick guide, 5-minute drills, those types of things. We call it Hazmat Minutes, and FLIR puts those all together in a nice form, and they're free for download for the guys that want to come in onto FLIR.com/primed. That's how you get to that site.
And what kind of subjects do the videos, if I go there, what would I expect to see?
3 of the most popular ones that we first started out was PRIMED, which explains, PRIMED is an acronym that just talks about what is the thinking process on a CBRN incident right from start to finish. And we can talk about that later. Radiation, obviously, that's not well understood and feared a little bit. That's one of the popular ones in the first series. We're on series 8 now, I think, or video 8. And Explosives 101 in this day and age. Big topic. 3 that are coming up in the this next quarter, LARA, another radiation one, which was called in, and a couple of these are called in by readers. They want to hear more about a certain subject, and that's one close to my heart. I'm a radiation specialist. And TICS, thermal imaging, which of course is one of FLIR's bread and butter, but can be used on hazmat scenes too. And that's a great tool a lot of guys don't understand. Unknown powders is another one. So those just a little bit. A lot of basic science, but really hard-hitting things, kind of the KISS principle. Really simple, but something the guys can understand and then keep with them so they won't forget it.
I love it.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Phil,
Nice.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm Phil Tack, and I'm the product manager for detection products within the FLIR detection product line. I've been with the company for about 9 years and started out on the research science side before transitioning over to product management. My background's in analytical chemistry and doing fieldable instrumentation in harsh environments.
So you're the guy behind our meters on the rig?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, in a sense, yes. The meters that we're dealing with specifically so far have been centered around GCMS, which is a confirmatory technique for chemical identification. So we're excited to bring out a new product that's hopefully going to move the industry forward in that regard.
So what exactly does FLIR do within the space of CBRNE?
They fairly recently expanded out and have a pretty robust ability for all of the areas of CBRNE. Very robust in radiation, explosives detection, bio, and lots of products that are really cutting edge, really robust, very, very sturdy, new innovative products. And a little while ago, they brought me on, and we first started talking about representation at different conferences and things, but they had an idea for a way of coupling their monitors with education. And you guys know, you can't separate those two. You need to know how to use this stuff, especially firefighters.
Yeah.
They fight fire, they forget stuff, they get afraid of these monitors, they're useless if you don't use your brain. And so we started that with PRIMED, and PRIMED is just, is that acronym. And my background was in biochemistry too in college. So.
Those are the videos you spoke of a few seconds ago, yes?
Yes. And we do about every week or two, and we'll just keep doing the series as long as they're popular, and as long as FLIR wants to do them. And we brainstorm different topics and start putting them together and go film them and do some field stuff. Not really a lot of hands-on, but it's really kind of a teaser to get them the taste to say, I want more on this subject. And then hopefully we can motivate them to talk amongst themselves. They're already starting to use these videos for internal training.
That's great.
And they're getting our downloads, and then they can manipulate them and put something together so that when they under stress, they kind of regress back to a tunnel vision. We don't want that. We want them to see the big picture, that situational awareness thing. And so we're teaching them to pick these field guides, and they're built on good street truth, time tested. They can modify them even more. I mean, it's something they can own. And so we also throw in at various times, we throw in little hazmat minutes, a little 5-minute drill on a various subject. It might be Explosives 101. It might be, I've got one called How Small is Small. It's about rad particles, understanding particulate radiation versus energetic photons of radiation, and what does that mean? And so those are the kind of things we're into. And I ran the hazmat team in Portland for about 37 years. I've taught at the Fire College, all kinds of classes, and my background is radiation specialist, but I'm emergency manager also. So we'll cover all the bases as long as they're interested and keep, education's what it's all about. And that's why I'm really excited about learning more about you guys.
All right, Grant, so we know what your involvement is with FLIR. Phil, tell us a little bit about what your role is at FLIR.
Right, as a product manager, I'm responsible for making sure that we develop and field products that fit the mission of chemical detection. And that's carried across an entire line of products, across also a range of sort of deployments and fidelities. And that would include products from the detection of chemicals right up to sort of the holy grail of chemical detection, which is in mass spectrometry. And predominantly my work has been on the mass spec side, and doing development of work to make mass spectrometers amenable to actual field use, which is a pretty big challenge.
That's bridging the gap between the firefighter or the hazmat or the police or the military and some of these meters, especially the mass spec, was daunting.
That's true. There's a lot of utility in the product. There's a lot of capability, but if it's not useful to an operator and if it's not approachable and it's intimidating, then it doesn't get used, and then there's no value in it. So,
and that's how it was back in the day. The GCMS was just untouchable.
Absolutely.
Because you had one guy that can operate the thing, and if he wasn't working, it was out of service.
Yep.
Has that been your biggest challenge, is to make it something that is fireman friendly?
Yes, that's probably been the biggest challenge, is making sure that maintaining that level of fidelity, which is important and it's inherent to the technique, right? But also making it approachable for people from across a wide range of operator bases.
One thing I wanted to add too, along that same line, is that they have to be firefighter proof, which they drop. You guys know, they drop them, they burn them, they kick them around. It's just the nature of the business. But the one thing that goes along with the ease of use and firefighter friendly, it excites me to develop guides and things. What I would do where I was from in Portland is develop little cards that were decountable and stickers. They would always be on the monitor, and it would be very simple. And they would go in and they can't remember what to do, and they just look on it, okay, A, B, C, and then they're able to use that monitor. And so it can't be scary to those guys because they're in the mess, and sometimes they have gloves on, they can't see, they're tired, they're scared, the whole gamut. So it has to be simple, and we're trying to develop tools based on their input, but we know from time-tested truth, and put that together to help those guys operate.
Let me ask you, as far as the FLIR Primed, what are your audiences? Who are you going for?
We're actually going for a wide audience, because the people that buy FLIR products is wide. We're not going just for first responders, fire, police, military. We're going for the industry reps, the RP at a facility, for example. Might be businesses, it might be private, but environmental testing, medical, hospitals, not only in the field but in the lab too. There's all kinds of applications for this equipment. So and because of that, we want to tailor Prime videos to all of those audiences. And that's why we encourage, we did that at this session here, we encourage people to actually give us ideas and ask us, what do you want us to cover? What's the cutting edge stuff? Fentanyl or different cutting edge drugs or bombs. It might be TATP, it might be radiation, and then we tailor for that audience.
So you were mentioning before about the Prime videos that you have out, that you get a lot of user feedback. How exactly does somebody go about contacting FLIR to say, hey, can you make a video about this?
If they go on the site and they look at the series of videos, and there's an ability for them to do it electronically by email on the site, so they can put in their input there, their ideas. They can have suggestions, maybe something they want to correct even, because everybody. We learn all the time. We go and talk to people, but one of the most exciting ones is like we did here at the IAFC in Baltimore. We are exchanging business cards and talking to people, and we did a presentation this morning to maybe 50 or 60 people, and it was amazing. We asked them for input. We got half dozen or more written ideas, but people come up to me and say, hey, we're using this. They ask for permission. Can I use this? And they're excited about it. What can I do? Do you have more stuff? And I said, we're going to have a lot more coming up. That's the kind of input we like. This is from person to person based on problems they're seeing right now. They may have had a call last week and said, this came up, what do we do about that? And then just like you, I want to research stuff, and then I want to distill it through my experience, and then we try to speak from person to person. Now again, I'm a firefighter, hazmat guy, but we speak as a person that knows it, but then speak to audiences that might be able to use that equipment in their other businesses or facilities, like an RP at a chemical plant, for example.
You know what? I mean, this show, you guys are pretty much rolling out the Cadillac, right? You're rolling out the brand new product. What is the G510? What is this whole thing about?
The G510 is a person-portable GCMS that's designed to be carried downrange into a chemical response mission, and it provides high-class chemical identification right at the site of interest. So it's based on a quadruple mass analyzer, which allows us to integrate to the widest chemical library that's available.
Is there one library or is it multiple?
What we do is we take components of the NIST chemical database and build our own library from it. So it's using the information directly from NIST, but we create a library that's essentially a subset based on common threats that you would find in a response mission.
So one of the things that we're finding throughout the meter world is that these meters are great at picking up stuff that came from a lab, right? So you test for VX, you're testing military grade VX, but we're starting to see downfalls in the arena of homemade stuff.
Dirty.
Right.
Yep.
Will this new GCMS help tackle that?
Yes, the inherent beauty of the GC, which is the separation portion on the front end, right, it takes a dirty sample or an impure sample and separates it into its chemical components. So if there's something that's 75% of what you expect it to be, but it's been adulterated, whether it's a narcotic or whether it's an explosive or something like that, by doing GC on the front end, gas chromatography, you're separating one chemical from the other. And you'll still identify the threat, you'll also identify whatever's making up the impurities in the sample as well.
So I'm very excited about GCMS, especially in the first responder field.
Look at me.
So can you give our listeners just a quick overview of the technology itself and what makes it literally the cream of the crop when it comes to meter detection?
So GCMS, long been considered, as you said, it's kind of the gold standard of chemical analysis in laboratory environments. What we've been trying to do and been successful in doing is transitioning that into the field environment. GCMS, again, being traditionally based in a lab, it's large, it's power hungry, it's expensive. So what we've been able to do with the G510 and with other products as well is to reduce the size that it takes, reduce the cost, and to make the system actually usable by people that aren't PhD scientists. Because we understand that these are operated by not only by people from a wide range of backgrounds, but also in a wide range of scenarios, right? I mean, you're not in a laboratory, sure. You don't have a weight lab coat on. You might have a level A on, or you might be in the middle of the night. I mean, you have to just be prepared to make the system as easy as possible.
Yeah.
So who is FLIR's, when they made this, who were they really looking to focus? Who's their target audience?
For this product, we're really focusing on the responder.
Okay.
Traditionally, we've built a business in transportable GCMS for primarily defense missions and those where the product needed to be rugged and transportable in vehicle applications. But this product really transitions more into a responder's role. So we've made it simpler to operate. We've made it far lighter at 36 pounds.
That's actually not so bad.
Yeah. You laugh. For anyone listening who's never held a GCMS, a 36-pound GCMS it's like a lightweight.
That's delightful.
It's fantastic.
We used to have one in the firehouse, and there's a running joke, but we used to put it in all types of scenarios. It was like, the step stool to get into the rig, and it was so big and clunky. It was
chopped the rig.
It was a chop for the rig. People use it as an ottoman. It was a funny thing, but this 35 pounds, that's really not that bad.
And it's in one box, right? So it's designed to be carried easily with everything inside the box, the vacuum pumps, the batteries, the carrier gas, everything is internal to the system so that you're able to carry the entire thing as a package into a scenario.
How's the battery on it?
There's two onboard batteries, lithium ion, and gives it up to 4 hours of battery life.
That's not bad.
No, not bad at all. How long does it take to, let's say I wanted to run a sample, and I say, okay, this is a scenario where I want to use this GCMS. I start the process of turning it on. The time frame from turning it on to getting a sample, what are we looking at?
The power-up time is really limited to about 15 minutes.
Okay.
And during that time, and operators do a number of different things. Some power up the system as they roll to a response event. Some power it up while they're on site. But during that 15 minutes, it's going through a series of steps to make sure that the system's ready to accept a sample as soon as it gives you a ready signal. So it's going through power up to get the vacuum pump to the right pressure. It's getting everything heated so that we can limit sample carryover, and it's doing a tune so to make sure that it's perfectly calibrated for the mission.
Is there any user calibration with this, or is it basically do its own thing?
Mass calibration is automatic. It takes place at the end of the power-up cycle to make sure that the system's calibrated well to the mass spectral library.
Awesome.
So really fireman friendly.
That is. All right, so as far as training, there's always that steep learning curve, especially with GCMS. I remember this being the topic when I was in chemistry labs. It was like, oh, God, GCMS is the best.
There were semester classes.
Yeah, there were the whole classes built around
class.
these things. And now we're taking this downrange in suit.
Right.
So as far as the training, how steep is it for this meter?
The training can really be limited to there's a number of different ways you can approach training with this product, and a number of different ways that we do approach it. The first one being on the operator side. We understand that the operator doesn't need to go into the great depths of how to do things like adjusting methods and adding ramps and doing things that a laboratory-based person would be expected to do. As a response tool, you could be trained in this product in as little as 2 hours.
Wow.
And
What?
That's awesome.
The reality is the system is designed to be easy to use, and also, very importantly, is to limit the data interpretation that takes place. Right. So instead of having to look at a mass spectrum and trying to identify, this is what this compound is because I see a fragment at 91 and one at 36 or something. What it's designed to do is eliminate that portion of data interpretation and give the operator the answer.
And if you want to go deep, go deep.
That's right, and the data is maintained there, so if there needs to be some level of review afterwards, you can call that data up and go to a greater degree and dive into the data, reprocess it using different libraries, things like that.
Wow. So I'm blown away by literally the level of fireman friendly that you guys have made this. What, as far as software is concerned, that's fantastic. What are we looking at as far as other features that make it fireman friendly and easy to use?
Part of the desire or the advantage of this product is to be able to expand the way that the product is deconned. So the product was made, the G510 was made to be IP65 rated.
What does that mean?
One of the numbers refers to its water ingress protection, and the other refers to dust ingress protection.
Okay.
And the product is able to be sealed so that the vents and things like that are otherwise open to the atmosphere are sealed so that the product can be deconned. And at least to open up the decon procedures beyond typical for this class. So it's able to be wiped, it's able to be sprayed, and it makes decon procedures a lot easier. Because obviously everybody has their own decon procedures, right? And I don't want to dictate what they are. Some groups do other things, but
I mean, some are going to put it in a bag, regardless of and they're going to do it.
And some are going to open up a hose line on it.
Right, they're going to roll it down the street with a hose line. So one of the things that I'm always concerned about is when I go downrange, I'm bringing this meter for a specific reason. I'm probably going down to deal with some type of chemical that I need to identify, obviously, or else I wouldn't be going down there. But let's put me in the worst case scenario. Let's say I'm in level A suit. I'm going down there. There's a tremendous amount of stress. I have 2 screens in front of me, so I can't see nothing. I can't feel nothing. Barely can hear anything. How does your meter stack up against those kind of odds?
Right. Just being in a level A really tremendously limits things, like you said, vision, dexterity, intelligence.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you honestly lose about 50 IQ points as soon as you put the suit on.
Dumb.
And I
never
spent
come back
plenty of time in it myself. And really, the product's been designed to make it as easy as possible to operate it in PPE like that. So the touch screen, which is on board the system, has very large buttons, and it's intended to be operated for someone who's wearing gloves. It is glove-friendly touchscreen. The vapor inlet has buttons to be able to operate vapor detection and vapor collection as well. And there are indicators on the probe itself to show the operator in the presence of a threat. So it's very clearly green light, red light on that probe itself. And then the product is able, like I said, able to be carried when you're in that level A.
I'd like to add one thing on, from my perspective as a 37-year hazmat responder, is that in the past, you would have to call an outside agency that would bring in some, say, advanced RAD or a CST team that would bring in some advanced equipment. Because your goal is, especially in this day and age, there's so many chemicals out there, and we need to be very specific. If you're not specific and don't know the exact chemical, there are so many things that you need to do, redundancy on monitors and lists to look at and different databases to compare. If you have that chemical, it cuts through all of that stuff. Not only that, in this day and age of terrorism and the criminal scene and evidence you're seeing, you basically need to be very specific, and that helps you, especially when you have tertiary chemicals. You have a reaction and something's coming off there. It makes it very complicated. Yeah. This thing is like, this will tell you exactly what you need to know, and then you can be very specific on your outcomes and what you're going to do, your strategies and your tactics.
Excellent.
And you have it now. And you can be in there, and the guys that are in the cold zone, safe, but they've got all this telemetry, they can get information, real-time information right now, and you can really put that to use, and that's good stuff.
So this unit has telemetry capabilities?
That's right. So the device is built in with Wi-Fi, with GPS, and also with Bluetooth connectivity. Very nice. There's intelligence built into the box. And one other note about training, what I wanted to mention too, is responders are responsible for being proficient on a very wide range of meters, right? So there's LEL meters and your PIDs and your floor gas and everything else. And that's a lot of information to both get at once and then retain, especially when you have to respond to some event. So we understand that if it's been some time since you've operated the system or been some time since training has taken place, we've tried to make it easier for a refresh perspective by putting in onboard training videos. So you can access those right on the device itself as you approach an incident and say, oh, I don't quite remember how to use this particular part of the device, or I'm not quite sure if I remember how to operate this type of inlet on the product.
Can you play Pac-Man?
It does have sound. So
okay.
No, but there's a special pocket on there with power bars in there.
Oh, nice. Now, I don't know if you all will feel comfortable necessarily talking about competition, but what, if you don't mind me asking, what would set this unit apart with somebody else's GCMS?
Sure. What's raised the bar in this product class, there's a couple of things. One is the integration of an active pumping system. And let me explain that real quick. So the benchtop GCMSs traditionally use a turbomolecular pump that's inside the box, and then another pump that's on the floor. And they're very large, very power hungry. Traditionally in this product class, in the transportable product class, there's a passive pump that's used. And those have a certain capacity, and they need to be regenerated periodically. And it also limits the type of inlets that allow your sample to actually be analyzed brought into the mass analyzer. So we have integrated a direct active pumping system, a turbo pump, with a miniature diaphragm roughing pump, which allows us to really open up the types of samples that get into the system. So rather than having everything go through a membrane interface, which really limits the breadth of samples that you can see, we go directly from our GC directly into the mass analyzer. And
Love it. Very different.
Love it.
what it does is it really allows us to open up to the less volatile materials. So we can see things that go out, instead of up to C18 or C20, we can go out to C25 or C28, C30, things like that. So we can see your heroin and your fentanyl and sticky, non-volatile materials like that.
Wow. That's great.
That is great.
That's.
I got to say, this is very exciting. You all should definitely sit and please check out the FLIR's new GCMS. If you have the opportunity, and even if you don't have the opportunity, make the opportunity to go to FLIR's website and check out their PRIMED videos. They've got a lot of really, really good stuff out there, a lot of great information. They're looking to grow their content. They're looking for ideas. So watch a couple of videos. You start getting ideas. Shoot them an email over at primed@FLIR.com.
Yeah, I think we've been very proud to be here at this event. It's been a great event for us, and we're excited to get the product in front of some operators. We've received a tremendous amount of feedback, very positive feedback on the product. So we're very excited to bring this product out. There's a number of ways you can reach out to us. You can visit our website, and specifically the Griffin G510 website at FLIR.com/G510, or you can send us an email at detection@FLIR.com.
Great. It was great talking to you guys, Phil, Grant. I appreciate you taking a couple minutes from your time and bringing some great content to the listeners.
And a great machine, great new meter for the world.
La Machine.
La Machine, the machine. That's Spanish for the machine.
Yes.
And if anybody has any questions about this product, you can always reach out to Bob and myself at any one of our emails, whether it's info or ask or Mike or Bob, anything at the Hazmat Guys, and we will definitely get you in touch with these gentlemen. It would be well worth your time to look up this machine.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.
Well, that wraps up another episode of the Hazmat Guys.
You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and our YouTube channel at The Hazmat Guys. And take a moment to call our comment hotline at 843-628-1484.
We are always looking forward to your feedback about information or interesting incidents that you are part of. So send us a note at feedback@thehazmatguys.com.
And remember, guys, don't just get on the job, get into the job.